Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. On the channel, we've got interviews, podcasts and content on all sorts of subjects: mental health, football, serial killers, films, TV, conspiracy theories, writing, music and more. All our shows are available in video format at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation or audio at all the usual radio podcasting apps: Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts. Far too many to name. Today's show, something a bit different. My favorite type of show to record. Instead of me doing hours of research, finding interesting questions and subjects,
loose.
Yeah, it's just let the people decide where it goes. All I've got to do is copy and paste them from emails and Instagram and Twitter and stuff. So this is episode number 12 in our series, Unscripted and Uncensored. It's a completely unique series because, like I said, all the questions and talking points come from the people, the viewers, the listeners, the fans of the guests. So it's always interesting. I've got no real run through after the initial bit. No subjects, no questions, just what you people have sent in. It's going to be fun. It's going to go off the rails. Absolutely. Going to go off on all sorts of tangents, but just the way we like it. So my guest for Unscripted and Uncensored today is former Scottish international, Aberdeen, Bolton, and of course the mighty Cardiff City. The mighty Cardiff City, Mr. Kevin McNaughton. Welcome, Kev. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good. Just cooped up like everybody else, but yeah, I'm all good. Can't complain.
Making the most of the lockdown. I got to refrain from calling you Super Kev all the way through because that's literally all I've called you for like the last 10 years or something.
It's saved on your phone as well, isn't it?
It is saved on my phone as Super Kev as well. That's all I've said to my missus and my kids. Super Kev day today. Super Kev day today. But it is what it is, I suppose. It's a pleasure to have you, pal. It's a pleasure. And I look forward to putting the people's questions to you and see what you say. But before we get into the people's questions, today's show brought to you by Away Day Apparel, as modelled by myself. Fast becoming a brand on the casual scene. They continue to grow organically. You can check out their website at www.awaydayapparel.co.uk, Instagram at awayday_apparel, and Twitter at awaydayapparel. Some big things happening for the brand in the coming weeks. And joining us for another cameo is the big boss man of the brand and a legend in his own right, Mr. Alan Jones. Welcome, my friend. How are you, my son?
That's some introduction. Thanks, man. I'm flattered. Yeah, cheers.
It's all right, mate. That's it. You know, it's the only thing I'm good at is the introductions. After that, it all goes downhill after that. I can do a good introduction, though. But obviously, especially for viewers, listeners of Ace Podcast Nation, if you use the code AA Podcast Nation, all in lowercase, you can get 10% off all orders at awaydayapparel.co.uk. Use it at the checkout, and it's AA Podcast Nation, all in lowercase. So,
get on board.
Get it. Get the stuff. There's got some limited edition bubble hats as well.
I got boxes full of them. So please buy them. Yeah, can't move.
You got is it the blue and you got the blue and yellow ones for Cardiff?
Cardiff. Blue and yellow, look like a Robin Friday kit, and then I've got another one with just a logo right on the outside. They are on the website, but if you want me to pull them out of a bag and show you around, it'll take up too much time. It's all about Kev and me tonight. So
it's all about Kev. It's all about Superman. Honestly, mate, I can't wait till people hear some of the questions which people have sent in. They're so random.
I prepped him earlier for the drama as well, so he knows what's from me.
So we all, like, I had a chat with Kev yesterday. You spoke to Kev earlier as well, and I spoke to you earlier. And one of the things which we came up with was a certain clip which I got to play just so we can all react to it and see it, because it's legendary. Go on, you go for it. Go on.
Kevin, I asked you about it earlier. I said you had literally 2 meters to decide where you were going, right? And when it was replayed on the telly, your eyes were directed at a certain lines person, and it was a great talking, a debate went on and on and on and on. And like you said to me earlier on, your only regret is not patting her on the back and saying sorry. But there's a game to get on with. But that was one of the funniest moments watching Cardiff live on TV for me. She got taken clean out. Fair play, bless her. She lasted longer than you did, though, Kev. Yeah.
I took a lot of stick, but I never meant it in the first place. But I've seen the video about a million times now. It does. If I was to watch it, I would have thought that I meant it. To be honest with you, I've seen it. The only regret I had was just not picking her up and making sure she was all right. But it was the middle for a game. It's probably one of the worst games I played the whole season. My head was frazzled by that point. It was only about 10-15 minutes left. I think we're 3-0 down. So I was just, No, but definitely, I never meant it. I actually bumped into her about 2 weeks later. She was line moving again 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Shit.
She was stood at the yard per the back that time.
She came straight over and said, I hope you're not going to do that again. I said, I'm sorry. I was like, I watched it back. So embarrassed. But I was getting all sorts of abuse in the newspapers.
Yeah, you were.
Got some
I was just lucky that Osama bin Laden died about 3 days later and took a wee bit of heat off us, to be fair.
Put a clip up, Sam. Watch his eyes.
Well, do you know what it is, right? So I watched it for the first time in a while today when I downloaded it. And what gets me
is YouTube and read the comments. That's the best.
I will. I'll have to have a look at them after. Watch the walk away as I play now. Watch you flatten her and then you just stroll away as if like
She's
So look now. Just watch.
Checking out Miss Massey, our assistant. All in a day's work. Yeah, expect to be locked in this game, isn't it?
I can't play for too long because the video will get taken down. But it's just a walk away. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. Heartless.
Yeah.
Brutal, Kev. Brutal.
Yeah.
Almost nasty.
I'm surprised I wasn't injured, to be fair.
What?
She got
it.
On my injury record, I'm surprised I never got carted off, to be fair.
See, if I was Ronaldo, he'd still be rolling.
Nah, fair play.
That would have been
just got on with it. But yeah, I got a fair amount of abuse for that. Got a few death threats, to be fair. I got a few.
I was thinking, Kev, all the time I've been watching Cardiff, other than Mark Delaney, I can't think of a right back we've had that showed the work rate and the passion for the club. And, just a general, you knew what you were getting out of you every single Saturday, Tuesday night, whatever it was. And as a loyal Cardiff City fan, and I'm sure I'm speaking for thousands of others, well, probably smaller numbers when in the Indian Park, but I mean, certainly when we moved, thank you for the time you spent with us. Your commitment was never in doubt. And if I was managing, you'd be the first name on my team sheet anyway. So that's genuine, on it. Yeah, nice one.
Appreciate it.
Can't fault
we
you.
move on to that pre-season trip in Seville. We were playing Charlton Athletic, and a few of us were sat behind you when you were on the bench, and you just started having our sleeve done, didn't you? Our tattoo sleeve. And we were all taking photos at the time. We only had the Last Supper done. Since then, I think you covered from head to toe. You look like
completely covered bar my back, really, a wee bit on my back, a wee bit on my stomach. But yeah, it's a bit of a labour of love, but I do like my artwork.
Fair play, man. That's what I was going to say. Moving on to your artwork, I don't know if many people are aware, you know, that I've obviously followed you on Twitter, and I've seen the artwork that you've been producing, and it's incredible. So I don't know, you can plug out yourself, because obviously, you know, I was speaking to you earlier about possibly commissioning a piece of art. I don't know if any of the viewers are aware that Kev is, and has been for some time, you know, doing some incredible paintings, and they're available on his Twitter page and available to purchase. Take it away, Kev.
Yeah, no, I just started doing it as a sort of hobby towards the end of my career, and then just somebody asked me to buy one of them, and then just when I stopped playing, I thought, you know what, I'll just set up my own website and I'll start selling prints and stuff, and just took off from there. Really, to be honest with you, I haven't done really a lot recently. I've been doing a lot of coaching with Dundee, so a lot of my time's been spent coaching. But no, I just try to get back into it now. But we've got a website set up where you can buy prints, and if you drop me an email on the website, I'll do commissions as well. But I'm fairly busy at the moment, so.
Perhaps we could do something, like a little collaboration with a T-shirt for the brand as well. Perhaps we'll have a chat about it again.
Sorry, my kids are running a bit.
I said perhaps we could do a little collaboration, perhaps with the brand.
Yeah,
exactly. The McNaughton collection. Yeah, it'd be interesting. So, but that's all I got to say, mate. To say thanks for the time you spent with us. I'll leave you to Simon. He'll take you well off the rails here, so get another bottle of Buckfast out and enjoy the next hour and a half.
Yes.
And top man, and I'll drop you a message about that painting as well. All right.
Yeah. No worries, mate.
Over and out, guys. Top man. Cheers guys.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Top man now. I'll see you
Cheers,
soon,
guys.
mate.
Ta-ra, boys.
Cheers.
Oh, top man. So Alan, the cameo, he likes cameo. He comes minutes, has a chat, and then he goes and goes about his day. Leaves the hard questions to me. So, okay, right. So, like with these unscripted and uncensored shows, they are fun because they're just all random questions, and because it's all different people, they all just ask different stuff, different things. Some people ask about football, some people ask about other interesting stuff, shall we say. I don't want to give it away too soon. Yeah, just got to save it. Got to build up to the difficult ones. So we've had a few yeah, that's it. We've had a few different guests over the 10 episodes of this series. Obviously, we've had loads. We've got a lot of other series. We had Rodri Giggs. We've had Alan, who was just on. We've had UFC fighters Brett Johns and Jack Shaw. We've had Shed 7 lead singer Rick Witter, Danny Batten, Cody Davis, Gavin Gwynn. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting someone, so I apologise to them. But yeah, they're always fun, always interesting. But what I like to do before I get into the kind of into all the questions and this, because we've got quite a few viewers and listeners from like France and from America and Canada. So for the people maybe who are not as familiar with you or what you're about, I like to just ask my guests to kind of just give like a brief idea of like where they grew up and how they got to where they are today, basically.
Yeah, so I was brought up in Dundee. It's a wee town just on the east coast of Scotland. Started playing football from a young age. My brother was a decent player. He was a couple of years older than me, and just joined a little club called Celtic Boys. From there, they got scouted by Aberdeen, and then headed up to Aberdeen as a YTS at about the age of 16, 17. Headed up there, stayed in Aberdeen for about 6-7 years. Managed to get myself the first team there, and yeah, just from there, my contract ran out at Aberdeen, so at the age of about 23, and had a sort of decision to make. I had a few clubs at the time, a few various clubs offered me a contract, so I was quite lucky. I had 3 or 4 clubs, but I went down and spoke to Cardiff. They were really keen to sign us, so they offered me 3 years. So I thought, yeah, good chance for me to sort of, for me, it was a chance for the club and for myself to try and, stake a claim to play in the Premier League, which is obviously a league that everybody wants to play in. So, yeah, that was the main reason for joining Cardiff. So I eventually got there. It took a lot longer than than I wanted it to, but got to the Premier League eventually, and it was a bit of a roller coaster along the way.
Yeah, it was a real crazy couple of years for the kind of year where we went up, and the year that we were up there was like that. The first time we went up with when Marky Mackay was manager, it was quite bittersweet for a lot of people. Obviously, with you had the rebrand and stuff like that. What was that like for the players? Do the players really care, like whether it's red or blue, or were they aware of the issues that it was causing within the fan base? Like the year we went up and the year we got up, obviously it was quite tumultuous with the brand and stuff. And I was just wondering what that was like for the players, because obviously for the fans it was quite bittersweet. There was a lot of turmoil, there was a lot of arguing, a lot of protests. Do players care whether the kit's red or blue, or do they just want to play at the highest level and they want to? Not that I'm not saying in any way that they don't care about the club. I just mean in terms of grand scheme of things, they want to play Premier League or as high as they can, and doesn't really matter if it's red or blue. Or was it all they're aware of the problems off the field?
No, I think everybody was aware of the sort of issues that were going on. It was hard because we actually had probably one of the tightest groups of players we've had in terms of, how close we were together. So it was strange. Just, if anything, it kind of brought us together. I felt sorry for the supporters. I'm a traditionalist like anybody else. I supported Dundee as a kid, and if they change the colour strip, then no, I wouldn't have been happy about it. So no. I completely understand that from a fan's point of view. But again, you've just got to try and be professional. It's difficult.
I bet. Did you get every time you went out? Did people ask you about it as well? Like when you were out and about in Cardiff?
Yeah, got a lot of questions before, during, and after about what was going to happen, and then obviously it was just put into. I think first the chairman put the idea about and said he was going to invest a lot of money in the club, but he wanted it to be in a way that could, suited sort of Malaysian traditions and the colour and. He just wanted to tie it in with that. I don't think he had any bad intentions about it. I just didn't think he quite realised the importance to supporters or to the guys who've watched the club for years and years, how much that means. I think he just took that for granted a bit. So obviously, for a supporter, it became a wee bit of a bitter because it was obviously fans still going to the game, and it. You could sense that. You can definitely sense that at times. I know boys who, they're friends of mine who ended up not bothering going to the games because of it.
I've not been back.
You've not been back? Nah. So yeah, so it still lingers on.
I tell you, I took my son on his birthday this year. It just gone in February, and that was the first game I'd been to since. So I went to one game in the Premier League season, which was Man United home, and the only reason I went to that was purely out of a personal thing, because I used to watch Man United with my father when I was younger, and he died when I was 16, and I felt like I should go to that just because of him more than anything. But that's the only game I went to all season after going pretty much most games for the many seasons before that.
Yeah.
And I think, like, people used to give me grief for it, but I know people who've fallen out with like lifelong friends over like one side wanting to stop going because of the rebrand, and one side just wanted to keep going. And I think, as far as I'm aware, they still don't speak to each other, that's just really sad that a long-term friendship would break up over something which was, nothing really to do with them, in terms of they had no control over the what it was.
Yeah.
It was completely out of their hands. But it is what it is, I suppose. That was a question from me, really, because I was interested just what it was like, for the players.
It was difficult, but I think the fact that we were quite tight-knit team, and we actually, I think we just kind of banded together that season. I don't think we actually played that great football this season we got promoted. I think we were just, I don't know, we were just rough around the edges, but we just had a team full of grafters, and we had one or two boys who could score goals. I thought, so I think that's just the ingredient to get out of the Championship, to be honest with you. I think we've played better football in the past, and we've just not been able to get up. I think teams that play good football and get up, generally, they seem to be the ones that stay up. But it's difficult to find a solution of getting out of that Championship playing football. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, both times Cardiff have been successful in going up, they've probably played the least attractive football that they've played in the last 15 years, those two seasons. Whereas, other seasons, they would have, when you were there, where you had like Chopra and Bothroyd up front, and you'd be playing unbelievable football.
My first season at the club was the best football I've been a part of, to be honest with you. Especially first 3 months of the season was, we were flying, to be fair, and we just hit a major. For me, we just didn't have a good squad. We had a good starting 11.
Yeah.
As soon as we got boys injured, we were toiling. And the amount of games you play, you really need a good squad. A good squad gets you out of that league, apart from, a good team. Yeah, you can get away with it. But when the injuries happen, you're playing 46 games, there's going to be guys missing games. So it's difficult. And I think that's what took its toll on us that season. But I thought definitely we played some of the best football I've seen. And probably, I'd imagine Cardiff fans would probably agree with that as well.
Yeah, 100%. There was some quality. It's had some quality players over the years, and for whatever reason, it's kind of fallen apart a lot at the last hurdle or in the last portion of the season. Just seems to be one of those things. Right. So before I just go on to the questions from the people, we're going to do some quick fire questions where I ask you just 10 questions. You just got to say the first thing which comes to your mind. Most of them are just like either or questions. So, okay, quick fire questions. Oasis or the Beatles?
Oasis.
Who's the best James Bond of all time?
Sean Connery.
Rock music or pop music?
Rock.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Who's the better singer, Stephen Thompson or Susan Boyle?
Susan Boyle, 100%.
Eminem or Tupac?
Eminem.
Van Gogh or Banksy?
Banksy.
Best TV show of all time?
TV show of all time.
On the spot.
Match of the day.
That's a good one. I like that. Best movie of all time?
Shawshank Redemption.
Excellent. And finally, Liam or Noel?
Liam.
Good shout. And that's the quick fire questions. So we'll start with, as soon as we finished up with the Liam and Noel. What sort of music are you into these days?
I still listen to stuff that I listened to when I was growing up. You know, I like the Ocean Colour Scene, Oasis. I think else. There's a few new bands that I like. I went to see Sam Fender. Quite like his stuff. Paolo Nutini. Things like that. Just that sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of open to a lot of music, to be honest with you. But,
so, do you like? Do you tend to stick to that type of music, or will you listen to like other stuff like hip hop or like heavy metal or whatever? Like, no,
nah. Me and Marcia used to laugh about that because the music in the changing room was towards the end of my career. I couldn't stand it. So,
who was in charge of the music then?
Oh, it wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me. I don't know who it was. Chops used to always have the Chops used to have it, and Roger Johnson used to have it. Oh, Roger's music was horrendous.
Someone, who was it? It might have been Andy actually said. I can't remember who it was. Somebody who I had on the show said Roger Johnson has got terrible dress sense and terrible music sense.
His waist, he's got plumbing 22 waist as well. So his jeans to hang off his arse. He was just incredible. His music was brutal. But me and Marsh used to laugh because by the end of the season, I knew all the words to all these rap songs. I used to sing Marsh in his ear. So I was giving him a few lyrics by the end of the season. So he was just looking at me like, "Oh, this is brutal. I hate this."
Excellent. Did you like used to listen to certain music, like if you're working out in the gym or if you're getting ready for a game and stuff like that?
Boys used to have an iPod. The last couple of seasons, the boys had I think it was a laptop or something that just sat at the side of the room, so you were able to just put on Spotify, and I used to put on 80s classics, and everybody in the gym used to just turn around like, what the hell is going on here? George Michael and that coming on.
Yeah, just as they're getting ready to pump some iron and that.
Yeah, a bit of George Michael going on. Wham, getting the guys going.
Yeah, that's what you need. Excellent. What about match day like routines and superstitions and like food or drink or whatever? Like,
I used to just want to get there early. I was always the first person in, so I was there 30 minutes before we were supposed to meet because I just paranoid. I was one of these people who always forgot things, so I had to just have everything just set out. I used to take anti-inflams and stuff, so it was like kind of routine. I had to take anti-inflams at this time, eat my food then, and just because I'm not the most organised person, so I just thought I'll buy myself a good 30 minutes here, so I don't make an ass of it. And towards the end of my career, I had a few ailments. I had a bit of a dodgy hip, so I used to go and see the masseuse, a lad called Paul, who did the massages before the game. So I used to get a good 30 minutes with him before I went out, just to actually limber up a bit because
loosen up.
Yeah, I was the stiffest guy in the world, so I used to take a wee bit of stick for that as well. To be honest with you.
So you're a bit of a worrier then, like in terms of just everything, by the sounds of it.
No, I was just really badly organised, so I would worry about having things right. I was a bit superstitious with shin guards. I had the same shin guards for about, must have been about 7 years. So if you want to see the state of these things by, any new player that came at the club was like, what are those things? What are you putting on your legs? They're not going to protect you. It's been as well just putting a newspaper down there. As well an echo. Took a couple of echoes down the shin guards. Yeah. Was that bad?
So funny enough, you mentioned shin guards because my son, who's 15, he wanted to know. He said every time he sees professional footballers putting in shin pads, they've always just got like the singular bits of plastic which you put in your socks.
Yeah,
whereas like all the shin pads which the kids have got like the full ankle piece and all that, and he wanted to know why the professionals always seem to just have like a singular one which they tuck in their sock.
Well, I don't know. I think just because it's a wee bit lighter or whatever it is, but I had the full shooting match. That's why I used to get pelters. I had the cricket pads on, basically. I was ready to go out for opening the batting, really, to be honest with you. There was, took a bit of stick. But yeah, a lot of the lads just, I think it's just because they're light and they don't feel like they're, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. I found it really strange when I put them in. I didn't really like wearing the small ones. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't,
just feel like they're going to break. Like,
yeah, I like going for tackles and that, so and coming out, feeling like my legs are still intact. So I didn't like wearing them. To be honest.
Well, it's always a benefit, isn't it, if you come out without big like scars down your legs.
Yeah.
But, what was the worst injury you ever had?
Ruptured my Achilles.
That's a nasty
last
one.
season, that was at Inverness. That was the last season. That kind of that was like the gun to the head, really. That finished me off, to be honest with you.
That was what put you down.
Yeah, that was me. I was lame after that, to be honest with you.
Jesus.
All the other ailments were just put to one side, and that was the finishing move. But no, I did it really early on in the season. I'd only played about 8 games. And the rehab for that, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Just getting up in the morning, how stiff it was, and it was just, I had to inject my stomach with a blood thinner for the first 6 weeks as well, every morning.
They're horrible, those blood. I've had those many times, those blood thinner ones in your stomach. They're just not nice.
It's just no enjoyable experience, really. And
No.
I was on tramadol, which was, coming off that was bad, to be honest with you. I was on that for about 6 weeks. Coming off that was flimming.
You had some funky dreams when you have that stuff. That's horrible stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you done your Achilles, then did you know when you were laid on the floor? Did you kind of know that was it, or did you try and come back from it?
I tried to come back. I tried. Probably the hardest I've worked to get back. Went to the gym. I was going to the gym twice a day. I thought, I'll just have one more crack. I just want to get back before the end of the season. So I did. I was always good with my rehab. So I think that's maybe why I always, what the injuries I got were, they weren't really they never recurred. They never had any recurring injuries in terms of the ruptures of ankle. I ruptured my ankle once, which was bad, but because I did the rehab properly and we had good physios at Cardiff. Sean Conley's a really good physio. He works with Wales now. It's just part and parcel of being a footballer. I think certainly younger lads seem to cut corners, which you can't get away with it.
No, and they just come back then, don't they? Like you just get like niggling injuries in the same places all the time. Yeah. So after that ruptured Achilles, did you play again for Inverness after that?
Yeah. I got back fit by the end of the season. Only played about 3 games and we were fighting relegation at that point. So I was in and out of the team. I was struggling. It was one of them. I'd missed the whole season, so my fitness levels weren't great. I was basically getting fit as the season was finishing, to be honest with you. So we got relegated. The manager there at the time asked me to sign for another year and help him out a wee bit. So he got sacked about a week after he'd offered me this. So it was like
always the way.
The thing was, after that, I was like, this is a sign. I was just like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. I don't want to go around trying to find another club. The last 3 years of my career, I broke my leg. I snapped my hamstring from the bone, and then I ruptured my Achilles. So I was just like, nah, enough's enough.
Yeah,
that was enough for me.
Some painful stuff, that is. So, so now you're coaching at Dundee. You said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You enjoying that?
The youths, yeah. I've just been trying to get through my coaching badges, really, to be honest with you. Just finished my B. Looking to start my A licence. So it's good. I've learnt loads. It's I'd say quite refreshing with some of the younger boys. Really good bunch of lads, and you learn loads from younger players. I helped out with a few older teams and reserve teams, but you learn so much more from the younger players. I could see. I remember Craig Bellamy saying that he wanted to go in and do the youths first and try and learn, and I could see why he thought that, because you have to go through things with a fine tooth comb, just in terms of technique and how to do things with the players as well. So I've enjoyed that. It has been pretty challenging though.
What's Craig Bellamy like? Because he gets a bit of a bad rap for his attitude and he's quite feisty, should we say? But like the very few people who I've spoken to who either know him or have played with him have said that he just expects very, very high standards of everyone.
Yeah, I learnt loads from Craig. I thought Craig was just coming here for a bit of a jolly up, to be honest with you. Finishing sort of career the last couple of years and just. But nah, just in terms of how he goes about his business, I learnt loads actually in terms of how he trains and how he looks after himself. So in terms of that side of things, he was brilliant. I know he was always good with me. He never ever gave me any bother, but he's somebody who just doesn't have a filter. So whatever he's thinking, it comes out. So some people don't take it as well as others. So. He was always good to me, so I would say a bad word about him really in terms of that, but he'd rub a few up the wrong way, which
I can imagine. It's weird because, like, for me personally, I rather people who haven't got a filter and say exactly what they think, because you know where you stand all the time.
Yeah.
So my wife's like it. There's no kind of in between. She'll say what she thinks, and that's it. And I like it. I like that. And but some people, like you say, they don't always like the direct approach. And I'm sure, like, Craig's not backwards in coming forwards in terms of telling people what he thinks as well. So I'm sure that could upset people in some ways. But do you think do you reckon he'll make a good manager one day?
I think so. I think one thing about having to be a manager, you have to leave no stone unturned in terms of how he goes about things. He'll succeed through being meticulous, really, other than anything else, because he does that through his football, and if he takes that in his coaching, I think he'll be pretty successful.
Yeah, have you got for you personally, like you're doing your coaching badges and you're coaching at Dundee, is the ultimate aim to go into management, or is it more the kind of coaching side you're interested in?
Probably coaching, really. Enjoy coaching. You wouldn't rule things out in terms of management and stuff like that. Enjoy that. I've had to take a team myself for a good 6 months, so that side of things as well, having to obviously organise things as well, is a bit of a learning curve as well. So things like that, I'd take on anything really.
Give it a try.
Yeah, certainly wouldn't.
Did you do any like temporary player manager, like caretaker player manager jobs towards the end of your career? Did you get the opportunity to do anything like that?
I helped out in Forfar. Came in as sort of number 3. I didn't do a lot, to be honest with you, in terms of the coaching side of things. I was wanting to be a bit more hands-on. We had a youth team, but they had a load of injuries, and I ended up putting the boots back on and played for another 8 games. So I ended up just becoming a player, which I never wanted to go in and do. I wanted to just go in and sort of learn the ropes in terms of coaching, which had basically done nothing of. So it was a wasted experience for me, really. I just ended up playing about 8 or 9 games. We managed to avoid relegation, and then, to be honest with you, at the end of the season, I was just like, there's no point in me being here, so I just left.
Fair enough. Who did you support growing up?
Dundee. I was a Dundee fan. Pretty much all the way through. They played with Celtic boys, so I had a bit of soft spot for Celtic because all my mates were Celtic fans, and but no, I was brought up a Dundee fan. Dad used to take us to the games with the old terracing, so it was quite refreshing going back down to Ninian Park, to be honest with you, seeing the old terracing. In Scotland, obviously, the pretty much 100% of the in terms of Premier League teams, they don't have any terracing, so it was good to come back and see stuff like that. Which I think makes a difference in terms of atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Proper grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, at Ninian Park, the away fans were by the loudest part of the Cardiff fans as well. Yeah. So you'd have the banter going back and forth. But then when they moved to Cardiff City Stadium, the kind of loudest portion of the Cardiff fans are at the opposite end to the away fans. So that combined with the kind of shape of the stadium and the seating and not terracing, it just completely killed the atmosphere in terms of, what it was. There's been days where the atmosphere has been good in the Cardiff City Stadium, don't get me wrong, but it's not Ninian Park in terms of atmosphere. But then not many places are, I suppose.
I think the problem is, I think the Cardiff City Stadium needs to be pretty full to sort of make an atmosphere, whereas Ninian Park, you could probably have, half it full, and you could still have an atmosphere. There would still be an atmosphere because the fans would congregate together. Yeah. So, in terms of that, I think that's what I missed it. I missed it, to be honest with you. I know a lot of teams used to hate coming to Ninian Park. You say, I hate it. The surface was always half decent, but it was just the atmosphere, the changing rooms. I mean, the changing rooms were. I remember actually signing for Cardiff, turning up the stadium. I didn't know anything about the stadium. I'd obviously looked into Cardiff and before I came down, but I hadn't seen the stadium. And the actual, I think the sea or something else, someone on the stadium, someone was hanging off the letter at a 45-degree angle, just as I was coming in. And then I think it was Sam Haman at the time who stood in reception, and he came over and I went to shake his hand and he just came over and gave us a big bear hug. I was thinking to myself, what's going on here?
Yeah. What have you got yourself in for?
What's going on? And then we obviously went inside the stadium, which it wasn't state of the art,
No.
Heavy cupboards and I think one of the secretaries at the time was in basically a broom cupboard doing his work. So it's we'll sign through here because there's a wee bit more room.
Yeah, it was a proper old ground, wasn't it? It's even the toilets were just walls basically. So your stores, but in the same way, as Rio Ferdinand famously said when someone asked him, I think it was something like, "Are you worried about playing away in Galatasaray or somewhere like that?" And he said, "No, because I played at Ninian Park against Cardiff a few weeks earlier, or for Leeds or something." And I mean, it was so close in as well that when it was bouncing, I would imagine the players can hear everything which is being said.
I used to love it. It actually gave me an extra yard there. It's weird. I used to love it. Just enjoyed coming into the stadium. It's weird. It was just, I don't know why.
There's not many stadiums like that now, though, is there? Not many of those kind of old classic stadiums.
Nah.
Which almost create the atmosphere on their own.
Yeah, I know what Celtic have done. They've got the safe standing now, and again, Celtic Park's got a great atmosphere when it's full. But they've got safe standing. They've got a wee area where the fans congregate, which is, I think that does make a difference.
I was going to ask you that. Has that made a big difference or a big change to the atmosphere having Celtic that standing section?
Celtic Park was always good. I remember my first game at Celtic Park. I was like, "Wow, this is something different." It was like a cauldron, and that wasn't. I mean, their atmosphere on Champions League nights is ridiculous. So, I mean, it wasn't even they always had a decent atmosphere and decent games against Aberdeen. So, that actually prepared me for going to Wembley in terms of just having that. It's weird being in that environment. It's hard to get your head around.
Just the size of it and the atmosphere and stuff.
Is actually, it takes a wee bit to get used to. Imagine if you're playing there every week, it'd be a great place. It's a tough place to go, especially when it's jumping. And there used to be a song that was like, it was just a little tune that they played when Celtic scored, and used to have nightmares about that tune. Got beat 4 or 5 there a few times. And that's the song after they scored. It was like, oh no, it's going to haunt me. That music every time I hear it now, I just get me chills in my back.
I think, in fairness, most teams in the Scottish Premier League got 4 or 5 put on them by Celtic or Rangers back in them days.
Yeah, they were proper good teams when I first came into the side. In terms of,
I was going to say, when you were playing for Aberdeen, they were both very, very good, weren't they?
Well, they were just packed with internationals, as in the Dutch internationals, and thinking back in the team, you had Larsson, who ended up playing at Barcelona. Sutton played at the top level. John Hartson. That Celtic team was the biggest, most physical team I've ever played against, and one of the best teams in terms of the way they played football. They were proper team. That's the team that ended up going to the UEFA Cup final against. It was Valencia or Seville, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the Spanish teams, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the Spanish.
They but like even Rangers had like Brian Laudrup and Gaza and people like that.
Exactly. We had Arteta playing in the midfield. De Boer came.
Some team in it.
Yeah, that's some proper football. I mean, Van Bronckhorst was there. Barcelona he ends up playing with. So, playing in those games was brilliant for me. I was only about 18, 19, so it was a steep learning curve, mind you, but it was good. It was some experience.
Yeah, it's good. I was going to say it's a good way to learn, because you got to learn on the job, haven't you? You got to learn quick, because they'll punish you.
I had a manager at Aberdeen who used to pick me to be a man marker. So I used to have to mark anybody's. When I played Rangers, I had to mark the best player or whoever it was that was doing well at the time. We played Celtic, had to do the same. So I was always have to man mark Petrov or man mark Barry Ferguson or Arteta, and it was just, they must have been fed up with me, because I was fit as anything, and I was just a rash, just horrible. Yeah. I was on every touch made. I was there. Basically, I was their shadow. I think by the end of the game, I think Barry Ferguson was just like, get the fuck away from me.
Didn't want to shake your hand, but nothing.
Go away. Touch the ball. I think I was just running about, just like.
Didn't touch the ball for the whole game.
That knacker chasing him by the time we won it back. I was just like, I don't want that. Don't give it to me.
I like that a lot. But he did a job for the team. And against that quality of player, you need players like yourself who can do that job, because otherwise they will stick 4, 5, 6 on you, and sometimes they still will. But you've got to have that
definitely
tactical side of it, isn't it?
I was quite good at that job, just making life difficult for other people. That was
just running.
That was my role basically in the team.
That's all right.
At that stage,
The thing is,
just go and be a pain in the ass for 90 minutes.
I think like 18-year-olds are good at that, though, and they just being a pain. So
I was good at that after as well.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, you were playing first team football at like 18, 19. That's the aim, isn't it? Whether they want you to do X, Y, and Z job.
I played 6 positions that season. I played left back, centre half, right back, right across the midfield. And I learned so much about the game as well in that period. It was tough. And I never excelled at any of them positions. Just done all right. it was like whenever anybody was injured though. So if the left midfield got injured, it was like you go out, play there, just do your job. I never did anything wrong, but I was never an 8 or a 9.
So you were Aberdeen's Phil Neville then, were you?
Oh, I was, absolute Phil. That's his nickname.
What position did you favour?
I like playing left back. It sounds weird. I played all my best football left back, and it sounds bizarre for somebody who doesn't really have a great left foot, but I don't know why. I think the pitch opens up, and because I used to play it, I brought up centre half, so the pitch was always open to me. Whereas at right back, I don't know why I just felt closed off. I could only go back the way I struggled a bit going forward. I think I found it easier to get forward on the left hand side, which. Yeah,
I used to prefer. I got like no left foot. I used to prefer playing on the left to midfield or left forwards. My son's the same. He's all right foot, but he prefers to play left wing than he does on the right.
Yeah,
it's just one of them things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done all the easy questions. So we're going to move into the proper questions now.
Yeah.
The easy ones are gone. No, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. Okay. Who's the biggest prick you've ever met within football over the years? Just nice easy one to start.
As in off the park or on the park, or
just generally. I think they mean within football. Could be an agent, could be a manager, could be a coach, just someone who is a bit of a dick.
I don't know. You know what? He was. I don't know if they would class him as a dick, but he was just. I just struggled with a guy called Steve Patterson at Aberdeen. I'd just come back from injury. I'd been out for 6 weeks, and he just came in as manager, and. I think I was only 18 at the time, or 19, maybe 19. But I came into the team. I came in after one of the games, and I got man of the match. But for the first 15, 20 minutes, I was having a stinker. But I ended up getting man of the match. I didn't think I really played that well. But anyway, I came in. We won 1-0 against the second division team in the cup. And he just came in and he just went, "You should be embarrassed bringing that in here." But as I was coming in, I was trying to hide it because I thought I could just tell because he didn't really rate us anyway, so I could just see it in his face bringing it in. I thought, I better hide this. It's like, underneath my top, and I was like walking in like this. And, he just came for me, and he just went, I heard so much good things about you before I came, and I've not seen it. And it was just like, I was only 19 at the time. I was like, and anyway,
I had man of the match.
I didn't play for a bit after that, and then he got the sack. So I was delighted. If I met him, he wasn't a bad guy. He just didn't rate me at all. So it was hard. Everything was hard. Everything I did felt like it was pissing in the wind, basically. So
it does become hard, I think, doesn't it? If your boss or your manager or your coach, if they don't rate you or they don't think you're up to it, it's very, very difficult to change their mind.
It was the same with Neil Lennon when I was at Bolton. I could tell after about 2 weeks he just was not having us up at all. I think we played Cardiff, so I couldn't play. I was obviously on loan from Bolton. We played Cardiff and couldn't play, so I came out that week. Wasn't in the squad, and then never played it again until 3 months later. I got asked to play, and then I broke my leg in the game. So again, I just wasn't his cup of tea. So it just made life so difficult, and I couldn't leave the club either. I was tied in for the season, so it was like
it's hard then, I suppose, is it?
Well, the thing was, I wanted to go back to Cardiff, but I wouldn't been able to play. I could have just went back to Cardiff. I would have trained for the rest of the season. So with the final chance of playing, I stayed at Bolton. I thought, I'll soldier on and hopefully get a chance. But it just wasn't to be in the end.
What so I wind Andy up on a weekly basis on a Monday because he's not a big fan of Dave Jones. They had a few disagreements, should we say, and I kind of wind him up about it a bit. But when I did a show with Reece Weston, he said a lot of similar stuff, and like I know in Reece's case, he was upset with the way that he was treated on his way out. He kind of found out from, I can't remember if he said social media or he found out through someone else that he was going. How did you find Dave Jones as a manager, as a guy, or whatever?
He was always all right with me because
he liked you as a player, though, didn't he? So I suppose
I've always
one of them, isn't it?
It's hard. You just for me, you want a manager to just be honest with you. If he doesn't rate you, then just say, listen, look, it's not going to happen for a year. We'll try and find someone else where you can get somewhere else. We'll just try and do it as easily as possible. If somebody just came up to say that to you, but other managers, they'll string you along. They'll just, might need them in about a month's time. Might need them. If 3 boys get injured.
And then you're just wasting time, then, isn't it? Just wasting that player's time.
It's just wasting their time, man. It's you just become. It's weird. You just become a commodity, really, just in terms of your feelings and your actual. They go out the window. It's just they're just
using you
to become an item to them, which is it's not what you want, really, in terms of if you want to build a team, you don't want to have that. But Dave was always alright with me. I know a few boys who never got on with Dave at all, and it was mainly because they weren't playing, and the reasons they never really gave reasons for not playing. So
see, I think for me personally, that would really get to me if I like you said there. If the manager said, I don't fancy you, or you're not good enough, whatever, I'll just it's up to you to either find somewhere else or train hard enough to show that you are. But I don't know if I can handle the being ignored or the just not having a reason, like why you're not being picked or you're not playing or you're not even considered. Like that would frustrate me. And I suppose that's the different side of football, which people don't see on the outside, from a mental health point of view as well, isn't it? Like that's going to take a strain on just how you feel every day going into work and stuff.
It was similar with Malky as well. I struggled under Malky in terms of that as well, because again, off the bat, he wasn't really having me at all, because he liked his fullbacks to be attackers, sort of modern day fullbacks. I wasn't a modern day fullback. When I was concentrating on my job defensively, I was always half decent, but when I was asked to try and chip in with assists, and the rest of my game sort of felt the strain of that, to be honest with you. I struggled a wee bit under Malky, and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy my time under Malky, even though I think he was doing the right things. But again, there was an instant. I played 47 games the first season Malky was there, and I was on my last year, and I always like to get my contract sorted out either way, whether I'm going to be there or not. I just want to get it done, so I don't want to be going on the pitch worrying about if I break my leg here. I've got, I'm out of contract.
6 months left or whatever. Yeah.
Something that I've been lucky enough that I always tied on my contracts pretty quick. So I went in and I said to them, look, I'm in my last year. I've played 47 games last season. Are you going to offer us a new deal? He said, listen, finances and stuff. We're not going to offer you anything just yet. We're going to wait till Christmas because of the finances. And then there was 2 lads on, still 2 years left, signing new deals 2 weeks later. So I was just like, writing's on the wall here. And it was tough. That even the season we got promoted was the toughest in terms of mentally having to pick myself up, because I remember I got dropped after, I think it was Nottingham Forest. They got dropped. Never said anything. Just, actually, Mark Hudson came up to me on the Friday and said to me, "Has he spoke to you yet?" No, he said to me, "Oh, why is he dropping you tomorrow?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's just he's not spoke to you. He spoke to Matt Conley before he spoke to me, so he told Matt he was playing, but he hadn't told me I wasn't playing. So Matt had told Huds, and then Huds had told me. So I was still going into the game not knowing, I still not being told I'm not playing. I played obviously the previous week, so as I was coming in, I could see him standing outside the changing room. I was like, he doesn't normally do that, and I was in pretty early, so he pulled me aside. He told me I wasn't playing, which I didn't make a scene about it. I never said anything. I just went, all right, fine. Well, I already knew. Before I went playing. I got told from somebody who told somebody else. So that was. And Malky never knew that either. He never knew I knew. So it was just one of the things. And another thing that happened was when we got promoted, I was looking to sign another year. And the head of recruitment at the time had gone through the same agency that my agent works for, looking for right backs. So it was like, it was like, they're looking for right backs. I was like,
that's poor, that is, isn't it?
But they didn't know he worked in the same agency. So, but by then I'd been at Cardiff that long. I was just desperate to be involved in the team getting promoted. So I said, I'll stick it out. But yeah, it never worked out. I ended up going on loan. So just one of them things. That's the life of football. Although you just have to deal with these things.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like that last story. Well, both those stories actually are a bit. They're not great. You shouldn't be finding out off your teammates that you've been dropped, and they shouldn't be kind of looking for a right back through your agency. As like you say, it is the life of the footballer. I was surprised that Malky didn't fancy you because like Alan said right at the start of the show, like you were hard working, you gave it your all, you were fit, you were physical, and that was a lot of the attributes which Malky wanted from his team.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm saying, Mark was always he was never bad to me. I got on well with him, but I think if he weren't in his little, he was like a lot of managers. I've been lucky enough to be in some of them managers' plans. They get into this. Yeah. So I was maybe in the bubble. I've been in the bubble for a while, so I went really towards the end of my career that I realised that it's being on the fringes is not a nice experience, and it's maybe better being somewhere lower down divisions and being looked after than it is being on the fringes of the best teams, because it's tough. It is tough.
Yes. So as I said at the start, I would go off on all these sorts of tangents, and we'd end up talking about like random stories and stuff, which has meant that I haven't really asked you any of the questions yet, which people have sent in. So I don't want to keep you too long. So I'm going to fly through some of these questions. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Famous person on my phone?
Famous person in your phone.
I'd actually probably say Robbie Fowler, but I can't think of anybody really more.
He's quite famous.
Yeah, I'd say he's quite famous. I don't think there's anybody else on my phone that's Solskjaer as well. He's up there. The minute he's obviously a big name, but it's no anybody.
No one.
Ollie's not on my speed dial, to be honest with you. Give him a wee ring, see how he's getting on.
Yeah. That was an interesting period, I gotta say. He just struggled.
About him. I got dropped one game. I obviously came back from loan, and I played a few games on the spin, so I played think I played the toughest run of the whole season. Played away at Arsenal, away at Man City, away at Man United, and I think we had Hull at home or something like that. And that game, I was stood there getting my chicken and beans. The pre-match meal. We used to get a pre-match meal with Ollie in the stadium, and I was stood there getting my chicken and beans. And it just felt like he tapped on his shoulder. It's like, it was the gaffer. It was the Ori gaffer. Just went, "You're not in the squad today, okay? You won't be playing, okay?" And just walked away. I thought he was wanting the bean spoon, so I was just ready. I just ended up getting a little bit of chicken on an extra couple of spoonfuls of beans. I might as well just fill my boots.
Wow. He I gotta say, he looked completely out of his depth at Cardiff from the outside. Some of the players he brought in didn't look good enough and stuff like that. But he does look like he's starting to put it together at Man United now, which is, I find, fascinating to watch, because he looked so out of his depth for Cardiff. Yeah. And then suddenly he looks like he might be starting to get to grips with it.
For me, it was just he tried to bring a lot of ideas that had at Manchester United in with him, as in, you're not going to play this week like Alex Ferguson would do when they're playing Champions League. They're playing things. We've got loads of games. We didn't have loads of games. We weren't in cup competitions and that. So he was trying to do the same thing. He was just like, "You're not going to play this week, but we've got this team in 2 weeks' time, so you'll play that game." The boys were like, "Just so I'm not going to be playing for 2 weeks." So yeah. That was, some boys didn't really take them, but I think he's obviously learnt from that experience, and he's took something from that experience by the looks of it. Hopefully he's taken that into his job at Man United, because at the end of the day, I don't wish him anything bad or anything. I think well. Didn't have a great time at Cardiff, but
But also, there's a difference between managing Man United and Cardiff, and there, like you say, there wasn't the games to rotate like that, and if anything, that's going to make players lose focus because they know, I'm not playing for 2 weeks now. So,
you've got Wan-Bissaka, and then you've got Kevin McNaughton, so you've got the different level caliber
levels, isn't it? It's Kevin McNaughton. Kevin McNaughton's up here, and Wan-Bissaka's just starting out.
Obviously, I don't need a lot of coaching, and he's obviously up in the game then.
Well, that's it. Solskjaer's talking him through every game, whereas what he was doing is giving you pasta and beans, and that was it.
I was on hand there with the spoon for the beans. Yeah. So.
See, what he was waiting for was, he was waiting for you to serve him his pasta and beans, and if you had done that, you'd have been in the squad.
If I'd have known that, I would have been ready, and I would have just picked up a wee bit of chicken, just scooped it quickly and just ran away before he actually told him he was dropped.
One of the players he brought in was Mats Molodari.
Yeah.
Very, very, very highly rated. Super highly rated by nearly everybody. But he just never really seemed to get a chance. And certainly when Solskjaer left, he never got a real go of it. What was he like in training?
He was technically really good. Yeah, he was half decent. He's just a strange character. He never really spoke to anybody, and he always came in and he smiled, and he was just like a kid, really. He was just like a kid coming in. But I thought he was technically good, but I just didn't think he was ready. He didn't ready to just be thrown into a team that
was battling.
The problem was Solskjaer came in and he just thought, right, we're just going to start playing now, and we're just going to start doing things my way. But we had a way of playing that was it wasn't pretty, but it was, we weren't in the relegation zone before Solskjaer came. We were just above it. So
I was going to say, Malky was never in the relegation zone, was he? at any point.
Yeah, but you could argue we weren't playing great football. But listen,
That first season is supposed to stay up.
That's what it's about. It's not about getting out of the league is exactly the same. It's not about being pretty. It's about getting out of the league at the end of the day. And our job was to try and stay in the league. It wasn't about playing silky football. Certainly, I think that's where Malky became a wee bit undone as well, with signing Gary Medell, and he was too good for us as a footballing player, and just came in. I think he started putting on weight. I think he was actually getting stressed playing with us, to be honest with you. Just constantly saying he'd learnt the word pass fairly quickly, so that's pretty much all he used to say: pass, pass, pass. I was like saying to Gary, we don't do that here. See the channel? That's where we send the ball. And we play up there, mate. We don't pass the ball back here. I'm not good at playing football. Puds, he doesn't want to be playing football. Ben Turner doesn't want to be messing about with the back, right? So let's just forget about passing it here, and we'll just think about passing it up there, right, mate?
Yeah.
He was coming to Ben Turner and going, "Is it getting it?" And then he was passing it back. Ben was under pressure, and Ben was just like,
"I don't want it."
Yeah, it's just this is alien. So as much as Gary was an unbelievable player,
I was going to say he was very good.
A really wrong fit for Cardiff.
Yeah, he's the sort of player they should have signed if they'd stayed up the following season to try and move on from playing that certain way. But they should have been trying to stay up first.
I'd have played him at centre half. I'd play him as either a sweeper or so everything's in front of him. So if anybody's getting the ball, you can give it back to him. The thing was, he always gave pressure back to the back three because he wanted it all the time. So
there's no one behind him as well.
Anybody, if you're playing in Spain and you're playing in Italy, where it is, your defenders are all good in the ball and they're quite happy to just keep the ball and keep playing it around the back. And get out the other side of the pitch, but it's just something that we weren't very good at, and it's probably why we didn't play that great football, because whenever we searched for the ball at the back, and we weren't used to the boys coming and getting it and just playing. We were very much a bit more direct, and we played higher up the pitch.
What was Kimbo Kyung like?
He was, as a player, he was
very, very good.
Oh, he was one of the strongest guys holding the ball that I've seen, in terms of, used to play small-sided games, and if you had him on your team, you were absolutely laughing because he just rolled the ball onto his feet, that he wouldn't give it away. He was similar to Steve McPhail in the way he could just hold people off. Maka was really good at that, especially in small-sided games. We used to play training games where if you had Stevie McPhail in your team, you were buzzing because you thought, he'll just keep the ball. He was the same. He was just so strong. But he must have ate about 5 cloves of garlic every single night, I swear to God, because he came in the training in the morning and you could smell him before you could see him with the garlic. I swear to God.
It's mad, that is.
He was scared of vampires, I'm telling you. He was... he was a really good guy. He had his interpreter. I actually felt sorry for Kimbo because his interpreter just got on so well with the lads. He used to just leave Kimbo and he just go muck about with the lads.
Just leave him on his own.
Kimbo just stand a bit like the guy. I think his name was Hee Hoon or something like that. His name was, but we just called him Ian. So his interpreter Ian was a good lad. So. Yeah, I felt a wee bit sorry for Kimbo. He was a really nice lad, and he was a good player.
He was another one. He had that little period, didn't he, where he had a run of games, and I think he scored against Man United, didn't he? He scored the equaliser against Man United in the one game. But then
towards the end of the season, we got promoted. He came in. Yeah, he was in the end.
Yeah. I think he came in. I think he came in the Premier League season, didn't he? In the summer, I think. I don't know. I might be wrong though.
I thought he came
the season before.
I might be wrong. Maybe.
All I know is I know he scored against Man United in the 2-2 draw because he scored the equaliser. It was like a header.
Yeah, it was quite similar to Jordan Much when he was on the park. He was effective, but he didn't give you a lot. He didn't give you a lot going back to the park. So
no,
it was a wee bit of luxury, Kimbo, in terms of going forward. He was good going forward, but if you weren't giving you much going forward, he weren't giving you anything really, because he never gave you anything back.
Jordan Much was unplayable on his day. I gotta say, he's one of my favourite players.
He's frightening. He just always had a wee niggle, or he always had someone. He was just always suffering with someone. That was the only thing with Jordan. Just you head straight for the treatment room when you go in the training ground.
Right, okay, questions. Biggest regret? Let's fly through some of these now. Biggest regret?
Probably going to... I don't really have a lot of regrets. I just think... Maybe
leaving Cardiff.
Probably going on loan to Bolton for a second time, but just it never worked out. And I always think to myself, I'd just stuck it out a wee bit longer at Cardiff then. I'd maybe played another season or two, because obviously Ole, I said to my agent before I left, I don't think Ole will last year because it's going to get a good vibe, as in fans and sort of
everything.
Yeah, just everything. I didn't think it didn't really suit it.
It wasn't a good fit, was it?
I don't think it was a good fit. So I said that before I left. I thought maybe you should just stick it out for another couple of months, because he said to me basically before we came in on loan Bolton, and he said, you're in the same position you were at the end of last season. You're still got the same guys in front of you. So I just thought, I just didn't. I had enough of that sort of experience the season before, so it was hard. That just from somebody who was always in somebody's plans and always playing, it just didn't feel right. I thought it's time to go, sort of thing. So I left. But looking back, maybe could have stuck out for another year and just try to fight my way back in the team.
Best moment in your career?
There's been a few. Obviously, promotion night was good. The FA Cup was. I was always a big fan of FA Cup final football. As in, I used to love all the build up, watch it on the telly before the game, watch all the guys with their new suits and everything. So that for me was it was surreal. It was just, is this really actually happening, sort of thing. So that was a major one, and then obviously get promoted that. And getting my first Scotland cap as well. That was, again, another surreal moment. Hearing the old national anthem. It was good.
Did you play in the Carling Cup final against Liverpool?
Yeah.
That was an up and down day, wasn't it?
I'd only watched that for the first time a few months back.
Incredible.
Yeah. It was weird. Just because it was slap bang felt like it was slap bang in the middle of the season. Our concentration was really on trying to get promoted, so that it was weird. We chatted the night before the game. We just all we said to each other was just stay in the game as long as we can. Don't really worry if we lose a goal, sort of thing. We just said that before the game. It was just like, and we had a nightmare. We had trouble getting to the stadium, for me, I was a proper panic merchant in terms of being ready and stuff. So I got to the stadium and I was like, I've still got a rub, I've still got to do my stuff, I've still got to do this, and everything was just a rush. So we're out on the pitch before we knew it. So it was a bit of a blur, that game. That game was a blur. Just remember during penalties, I actually thought it was for a glimmer. I thought, oh, we've done this.
Yeah, and I did.
We've done this. I thought we've cracked it. And then obviously, it just seemed Rudy going up for a penalty. I could see the way he was walking. I was just like, Rudy, you're dead on your feet. Shouldn't be taking a penalty. And he just
Just before we get to that, those penalties, what was it like when Ben Turner scored for the players? Because I know as a fan, we went mental. And it was that, I'll never forget that feeling of being inside Wembley, thinking that it's pretty much done. And then Ben Turner just kind of bundling it in the back post.
Yes, because like what dreams are made, I don't really. It's Roy the Rover stuff, really. But it's unbelievable. You know, there's times in games where you think to yourself, it's gone. You just think, oh, we had our chance, it's gone. And you just
Kenny Miller missed that chance just before, didn't he?
I know, that was the thing. You missed the chance, and you think to yourself, you maybe get one chance, you maybe get one more chance, and then that in my head, I think I'd just come off. I just come off just before that. I think just before he scored, it just came off, and then he puts it in, and it's just like pandemonium. Really.
Stuff.
Yeah, it was quality. It was brilliant.
Going back to the penalties quickly before we go back to questions. I'm just wary of keeping you for so long, mate.
You're fine. Sitting having a glass of wine, I'm happy.
Excellent. That's cool. Anthony Gerrard took loads of abuse from Cardiff fans after missing that penalty. Obviously, because he's a Scouser and because his cousin played on the other team and this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, Anthony Gerrard does not help himself sometimes with some of the stuff that he says and does. But I got to be honest, I felt as a fan from the outside that the abuse he took was bang out of order. He had the guts to take it, and he didn't want to miss it, I would imagine. But what was the opinion from like within the squad with regards to the abuse he was taking afterwards?
I didn't realise he took a lot of abuse, to be honest with you.
Did you know he did?
No, I didn't. Did get the was that through social media?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was, and I think a little bit like out and about and stuff. But
yeah, it's just one of them things. There's the best players in the world. Roberto Baggio missed a penalty.
Yeah,
final. So there's better players than Anthony Gerrard missed penalties.
Yeah,
Lionel Messi, I'm sure, missed a penalty.
It's just one of them things. Like,
can't do anything when penalties come up. You're just putting it in the lap of the gods, So that's what I do. Is when I watch a team I support take penalties, they're just throwing dice. Because the only guy who I always banked on was Witt scoring a penalty. Every time I just felt he was just always in control of his motions, which I think you need to be if you're taking penalties. Even Kenny Miller missed 2 penalties, but he was actually. He said to me, actually, he struck it as well as he wanted to hit it. He said, I don't know if I hit it too clean or what. I thought it was going in when I hit it. For Kenny, missed 2 penalties. He missed 2 penalties, and he missed the penalty in the semi as well, if I can remember.
Yeah, and the thing is with Gerrard as well is if he scores that, he's a hero. Cardiff win, and it's the big story about how he scored against the team he supports.
It would have been another penalty. It would have been Sunday for it. Yeah, Sunday. Yeah,
but what I mean is, like the story would have been different if he scores, and people would have classed him as like he's super professional because he scored against the team he supports. And
again,
it's just
for me, penalties are penalties. You just. I never ever, as a teammate, but never blamed anybody for missing a penalty. Never ever crossed my mind. If anything, I actually felt sorry for the lads who missed.
Would you have taken one if you were still on?
Yeah, I would have. I was always all right at penalties. If you see the testimonial game, you see me putting one right in the top bin. I think I took my first tour to Canada with Cardiff. I took a penalty in the games as well. It was obviously slightly less pressure than Wembley with 89,000 people, just a wee bit. But I was quite confident when it came to penalties, but I never really had the opportunity. Actually, I think I said I was the sudden death in the semis. I think I was taking. It was the sixth penalty I was due to take. So thankfully, it never came to that.
Yeah, wow.
Well, we wouldn't have seen the final.
Any teammates that you didn't really get on with, and why? Not necessarily from Cardiff, just from any team that you played for.
I think it's not been anybody who never really got on with. There's obviously guys you just weren't close to. You just never really.
Yeah, you just don't click with or whatever. But
yeah,
doesn't mean you don't like them.
No, the one thing somebody came up to me and said, why do you and Juan Cala have a really bad relationship? I was like, I never had a bad relationship with him. He just couldn't take my sense of humour. He wore a rugby top in the training one time. He wore a rugby top in the training one time. I think I just had my Instagram out as he was stood getting his dinner. Took a picture of him and said, me and Juan are going away for a game of rugger. But I tagged him in it and he just took total offence to it, complete offence. But I'm really bad with that. So if I see somebody getting wound up, I'll just
keep going.
Oh, I go again and again. And I did the same with somebody else. I think it was Jordan Much. Yeah, I did the same with Jordan Much. I think he was quite particular about his weight, and I had this fat face app in my phone, so I had the picture of John, and I put the fat face on him, and it just kept changing the group icon to Jordan fat face, and he just, for some reason, he was texting the lads and somebody take that off. He wasn't, for me, that is just
not
like the red rag to bull. So I just kept going after him. And it was similar with Juan. I don't know.
He was a good player though, wasn't he?
He was a good player.
Carla.
It just
couldn't take a joke.
It just didn't take my. I feel bad now. I've obviously got a wee bit older. I shouldn't have really bunged them up, but it just
yeah.
Unfortunately,
It's probably more like probably lost a bit in translation, innit? Like the sense of humour part of it.
Sent the message back saying you have no respect or something like that. It's just after that. It was just every time. I think actually, I can't remember what else. I did someone else, and I don't think he was really happy at all. I can't remember what it was, but it just didn't go down well.
Not long after that, you were sent on loan to Bolton.
Yeah.
Any manager that you ever fell out with, and why?
I've never had a proper fallout with anybody. Just wasn't in my nature really. Even if somebody did me wrong, I just thought to myself, well, what's the point? Couldn't really be bothered. I was never really I just didn't like that sort of thing. So nah, I wouldn't say there was anybody manager in terms of falling out with. I got on with most, and I think I would have a half decent relationship speaking to boys after football as well. So
okay, so Neil Fleming. This is a bit difficult for me to ask because he says, "What movie is this?" And it's a mobile phone, a red apple, and a.
Well, it's the story behind that because Neil's my mate, and we've got that group together. And I posted an emoji quiz. It was one of them.
Oh yeah, where you got to guess what the translation is like.
Like, what do you think that film is?
I'm rubbish at stuff like this. So let me have a look. Phone, apple, tears. I don't know. I'm terrible at things. It'll take me about 20 minutes to do it. Well,
my brother is in this chat, and my brother is horrendous at this. He's so bad at it. Honestly, some of the answers he gave. And for that question, it's the answer is Steve Jobs, okay? And his answer was Snow White for some reason. I was a quizmaster, and I was just like,
Steve Jobs. Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
I can't remember Snow White there being an iPhone. I don't know. Just looking back on it, I can't.
No, I can't see the Snow White. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, anyway, but just, that's what that question means. So
There we go. Rob Sweetman says, "What happens when you drop a watch in a pint glass?"
So we had I don't know if you've seen, we had a 5. I came down to one of the games with 5 of my mates who I played football with, a junior team that I played football with towards the end of my career. Well, just played juniors for about a season, but my legs were gone. So anyway, I said to a lad at the club, I said, "I've got 5 of my mates coming down from a football team. Can you get us tickets?" So the lads, Mark Denman at Cardiff, said, "Well, why don't we just do a bit of fun and we'll invite 5 supporters to come play 5-a-sides against you. We'll do a competition." So did a competition anyway. We came down on the Friday, had a few drinks, obviously, Stephen. And then we played the 5-a-sides on the Saturday. And then I was
painful.
We won 8-1, I swear, and it's probably the best I've played in my career. Got highlights of me scoring and giving 3 assists. It's incredible. But anyway,
should have got pissed up the night before when you were playing.
Well,
that should have been your routine and your superstitions.
Really, in hindsight, that was probably a bad move. But anyway, so we said to the lads who were playing against, said, "We'll go to the stadium, we'll get drunk together." Anyway, so we're having a few drinks, but one of my mates starts playing this daft game where he takes his watch off and you've got to cover your pint glass, and if he puts his watch in your pint glass, you've got to down your pint with the watch in it. And the watch is this old rusty thing, and so if you're drinking the pint, it actually tastes of rust. So you were down a pint of rust, basically. So that's the boy Rob. He was playing against us for a 5-a-side team. He ended up coming out on the night out, so he was obviously talking about that. One of the forfeits from a drinking game. It's not something.
Pint of rust.
It wasn't a Rolex that was being used.
No.
I think it was a Casio.
A rusty Casio.
A rusty Casio, I think it was. It was not nice.
What else we got? Well, these are easy. Alex James says, "How many wives did you shag?"
20,000. To work our way around Cardiff. I've been busy. There's loads of grey-haired youngsters running about.
Just all in the same, like, different classes. And
listen, in about 18 years, I'm going to go back down. I'm just going to bump into loads of wee guys with grey hair. About 18. Listen, if your son or daughter is prematurely grey, asking some serious questions.
So follow-up question to that: did any Cardiff fans ever legitimately offer you a night with their wife?
Every time I went on a night out, it was always had to get a picture with her wife. So
absolutely.
Could you get a picture of my wife just so I could put it on my Facebook?
Excellent.
What interesting.
Do you remember when that song first sort of started to do the rounds, or when you became aware of it?
I think it was the season I got Player of the Year. I think it was that season because it become quite a big thing. It was just funny.
Well, it's one of the all-time greats. So, sometimes football fans, like not just Cardiff fans, football fans generally, they just come up with some just incredible, witty like songs, and they're just like classics, and
some good as long as
very, very clever. Former Cardiff City midfielder Gavin Ray says, "What flavour was on the hot dog at Chasetown?"
Yeah, so when when I scored the OG at Chasetown for their opening goal, you might capture it. I think if you ever see the highlights of it, just watch closely, because I'm lying on the ground. I just scored an OG, and a hot dog from the stand just gets zung right off my shoulder. Lands right next to us. I just remember thinking to myself, oh no, I don't know what's worse, just the OG or the fact of getting zung with a hot dog right up. I was just praying that nobody filmed it or caught it on camera, me getting hit in the head with a bloody
And it did.
a hot dog.
Excellent. Quick plug, Gavin Ray, been on the show before, and I'll put a link to his show. It'll be just above Kevin's head, by there. Well, by there. I did what Alan was doing, going the wrong way. Just above Kevin's head, you'll see a link to the Gavin Ray show. There you go. Where were we? Gavin Ray. Aidan Brown says, "Who is the best player you have played with?"
There's been a few. Well, I like to think of it over stages of my career. When I first got sort of put into the first team, there was a guy called Ian Jess who played for Aberdeen.
Ian Jess. Do you know what? As a wee little Welshman, sorry to interrupt you, mate. As a wee little Welshman in Cardiff, he was. I used to love him, Ian Jess. I don't know why. Don't know how I came across him, or probably from stickers, like Panini stickers or something. But he was the man. I used to model my run on him back in the day. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you, mate.
Yeah, well, when I first got in the first team, he was there, and he was obviously coming to the end of his career, but still, he was just. You meet some guys who play in training, and you just think he's too good for us, sort of thing. And he was one of them. Where the first time I ever played against somebody, I thought, I know what you're going to do, but I still can't get near you. You're that good.
Mm.
And that was, for me, that was from all the good players that I played against. That was the difference. Was you can't do a lot about what they're actually doing. It was they've either got a skill or they've got something to do where you just can't get near them. So yeah, he was the first, and then as I sort of progressed and went to Cardiff, the next guy who actually there was a few at Cardiff when I first went down. You know who really surprised me when I first went down? Paul Parry really surprised me.
Very good. Come from non-league Hereford as well.
Honest, I knew nothing about Paul from within about just a couple of friendlies. I was like, oh my God, it was just left foot, right foot, just banging goals, and it was that left foot coming in off the right. It was brilliant. And obviously chops for me he was not most natural talent I'd seen. If he'd have just maintained his form in the first season throughout the whole season, I think he would have probably carried us right through to get.
Do you know what? I thought if he hadn't left to go to, he had 2 spells, didn't he, at Cardiff?
Yeah. I
do feel that if he hadn't left, because I think, was it Sunderland he went to for like a year, and then he came back?
Yeah.
I do feel that if he had stayed, we probably would have gone up, because at the end of that first period, he was just on fire. It was like everything which he touched seemed to go in, and but yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Him and Bothroyd up front now.
Jay as well. Jay was
special.
Yeah, Jay was special, but Jay had flaws. Just in terms of consistency, especially when he was at Cardiff. Well, at Cardiff he was all right. He went through a spell, but the best spell he had was when he just before he got his England cap.
Yeah,
that was as good a spell as I've seen for anybody who I've played with. But he just didn't have it in him to just do it for the whole season. That was the only problem with Jay. I just think that's what let him down over the years. Just
what was he like? Was it like an attitude thing, or was it like a lazy, like, did he not put the work in, or was it just he just wasn't able to put it together for long periods of time? Do you think?
It's the reason why Jay never played at a higher level. I just don't think he was. I don't know what it is. There's something that you have to have in you to just. If you've got talent, you have to have something else. It's just not. Talent's not good enough. Talent will get you to Jay's level, which was championship. With me, I wouldn't say I was talented. I just used the assets that I had to my advantage, which was just my hard work, my fitness, and things like that. And it was all right. It wasn't anything great. It was all right defender. I read the game quite well. That was me. So I knew my limitations. But him, there was no ceiling for him. So really, he should have probably pushed on a bit more and really. He should have kicked on, but he still had a good career. Don't get me wrong, but I still think he could have maybe gone on further. Yeah.
I was just interested in it only because he's one of the best players I've ever seen play for Cardiff in terms of
he's
talent.
one of the best I've ever played with as well.
Like truly outstanding player. But when you look at it, when you look back at it now, and you realise that he only played for England once, and he didn't go from Cardiff to like an Arsenal or a Man United or whoever, like a big club in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, but it's the mental side of the game is just as important. I mean, you'll get guys who have good careers just based on the back of that. And working in the academies just now, I actually look for that. I look for that more than anything else.
Well, the mental side of it.
Just somebody who can just keep going through. They make a mistake, just shake it off, or says, resilience. Resilience is having resilience in football is massive, because the amount of it's not always going to be plain sailing. If you've got somebody who just gives up after, it's not happening today, I'll give it up. It's not happening, I'll just chuck the towel in. You've got to be resilient. Like I said to you about managers and stuff. Managers there, you still got to come in. You've still got to try and get yourself back in the team. It's never easy, but
you still got to, you got to keep going. Ashley Gifford says, what did he always think of the Cardiff chant they had for him? We kind of just touched on that a minute ago, but
just found them funny, really, to be honest with you. My wife didn't like them.
Did she not?
She didn't mind. But no, they were funny.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Johnny Wish says, what was your wildest night out as a Cardiff player?
Oh, well, there are a few. There's a few stories there. We got to the FA Cup final. Obviously, we got to the final. We got beat. It was tough going, but we ended up back at the Chelsea Harbour Hotel. So came back, and Peter Ridgedale had put on loads of drinks. So it was just a big pile of. There was a big island full of drinks, so everybody was just getting hammered. And anyway, the night's dragging on a bit. Everybody's going up to their beds, and then the guy at reception grabs me, gives me a tap on the shoulder, says, "You're going to need to go and get your teammate." There's somebody just keeps singing, shouting at the top of his voice. And I was drunk, so I was like, "Yeah." So it's usually me escorted up. So I've got to go and get to see who it is, and I just see Stephen Thompson getting escorted out of this bar that was your residence bar. So there's still a couple of people in it. So his wife was in his room with a newborn who was only about 3 or 4 weeks old, okay?
No.
Stephen's the big lad, so I've got Stephen on my shoulder, basically carrying him into the lift. He leans against the lift door, and he's just like basically balanced against it. I'm steaming as well, so I'm having a laugh. And then the lift door opens, and he just falls down like a tree, and he just wouldn't get up. He just wouldn't get up. I was just like, "Tomo, come on, I need to get you to your room. I need to get to your room." And he just wouldn't get up. And I was drunk as well, so maybe I tied his shoelaces together, and I was like, "Come on, you need to get up." He tries to get up, falls over again, and then he just lies there. So I was like, I want to go back downstairs. I want to go back down and have a few beers in the bar. So I grabbed him by the legs. I'm dragging him along this hotel corridor, trying to find his room. Tom was a big lad, so like dragging him. All I could hear from him is moaning. He's getting carpet buns on his back. So he's just like, ah! It burns. He's shouting, it burns, it burns. But then I realised that I've got a chappie's door and his wife's in there with a little one, so just like tapping on this door. His missus opens up and he's obviously, Tom was lying on the floor and I'm just like, like whispering going, I've just had to get him up to the room, and she just went, bring him in here. So if you can picture me grabbing Tom by the legs, dragging him into this room. His missus is just raging. But the next morning he messaged me and says, what the hell happened last night? Well, I got you to your room. He said, I know, but I woke up on the floor and I went to go to the bathroom and I fell over. Somebody's tied my shoelaces together.
Love that.
I got a tidy shoelaces. He got up in the morning and he tried to walk. He just fell right over.
That is superb.
There was a million with Tom. Even that next day, Jesus. We went into the mayor's house and it was like, oh, it was carnage. It was loads of porcelain dogs, and we just we're in the mayor's house and we're just like putting dogs everywhere. Dogs. Yeah. There was a piano, the dog was sat playing it. It was like the mayor's invited us into this house, and that's just complete and utter carnage.
Oh dear. What was it like that day when Tomo was down the bay, wasn't it? When he was playing guitar was it on the bus or the stage or something? That was after he got promoted, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, next morning after obviously FA Cup final was brilliant. The bus back, we're all hungover as anything. We just said to the driver, mate, just stop at Asda. So we've gone to Asda and we just filled the trolley up full of beer and stuff. got absolutely wellied on the way back. But one of my mates is a big QPR fan, so he gave me a QPR top and said, could you get Trevor Sinclair to sign the QPR top? But Trevor, when he's got a drink in him, was mental, so I said to Trevor, could you sign this QPR top? He went, I'll give you that, and he stuck it on, and it was skin tight. QPR top. He was pretending that he grabbed the two sides of the seats, and he was pretending to do overhead kicks in the middle of the bus. I sent a picture to my mate of Trevor Sinclair in that QPR top doing an overhead kick on the bus.
Excellent.
He was delighted. And then obviously just went to the
signature.
Yeah, went to the bay, and it was a good day.
Messy. Johnny Wish also says, nastiest player you've ever played against and with.
He was I say nasty, but he was just did a lot of things off the ball. It was a guy called Fernando Rickson. He's passed away now, sadly, but he was a hard nut, a real hard nut. Tough competitor, but there was a few times. There's one time I just ran past him and he's honestly just went, just caught me on the shoulder. Honestly, if he caught me on the chin, I was gone. It was
KO'd.
And I was only young at the time. I was only about 18 or so. I was just
like, what's going on?
What's going on here? And he 2 seconds later, he just cleaned one of our players out. And he was, it was a hard nut on the pitch. The one I played with, Philip Kiss. Philip Kiss he's the nicest guy in the world. As soon as he got in the football park, he'd tackle anybody. He'd tackle his gran. If his gran was on the ball, he'd put his gran just to win it. And when he was first playing with Cardiff, I think it was about 5 or 6 games in a row where he should have been booked, and he'd gone 6 games without getting booked. And I was like, every time he went for a tackle, I was like, oh my God, Kiss. You're flirting with getting red cards. He was, Kissy was good. He was a great lad, Kissy.
Yeah, I used to be a massive fan.
Yeah, he's sort of iconic guy, isn't just
Yeah, like a
wild.
cult status, didn't he?
Yeah.
Johnny Wish also asked, the biggest wasted talent that didn't live up to potential the youth either played with or seen.
Wasted talent. I don't know. Really.
Were you there? Did Leon Jean come through when you were there?
No.
No, I think he was before you, wasn't he?
I've just started the Game of Champ Manager with Leon Jeans in it. Just started with Cardiff, and it's
Quality player.
Leon Jean, he's got decent stats on there.
What year champion manager?
102.
Yeah, that's the one. I downloaded it yesterday.
Yeah, I downloaded it because I thought I'm just going up the walls here, being stuck in. So I've just taken Cardiff to the Premier League, doing a great job.
I haven't. That's it. Easy. So no one springs to mind that you can think of where you've kind of.
I'm just trying to think of anybody who was built up. There was a lot of boys built up, but it wasn't really their fault. Especially young players. I've seen a lot of young players, and I got worried when Ramsey was getting touted for a lot of things. I was like, don't build this guy up because they always fall short. But he just went, he just kept going, which is great. But there was so many boys I played with who were tipped. Even myself, I was like, there was boys saying that. I think somebody said to me, there was a Lazio scout of the game watching you. I was like, there was not a Lazio scout of the game watching me. Trust me.
If they're looking for a kit man, what else we got? Huey Thomas, do you think the city of Cardiff is a help or a hindrance in attracting players? Lots of people seem to have an image of it that is 30 or 40 years out of date.
No, one for me. I came down for my medical and had a wee wander about. It was good. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a lovely place. I come from Dundee, which is isn't a big city, so I mean, home from home really for me. I know a lot of lads who've been based in England are used to having lots of clubs around them, so it's less travelling. I think that's maybe when you have to come to Cardiff, you have to live in Cardiff. In terms of, I know a lot of guys move clubs and they just stay at home. But generally, if you're signed, it was a good thing as well though, because they brought a lot of the families together because they were all in the same boat. They were away from their families and things like that. So that just found that a lot of the families who signed with Cardiff, they all keep in touch, and when I moved to Bolton, it wasn't like that. It was totally different.
Well, funny enough, they like Willie Boland got me and my wife together back in the day because she worked in a pub in Rada, which Cav and his missus and family used to drink in with Gabs and Andy Campbell and a couple of other people, and they all used to go down there like on the days off and that with the families and that. So it's interesting you should mention that they're being in Cardiff means.
Well, a lot of the guys from Scotland who come down, and you know the wives really who suffer just got nothing really other than each other. So they make a lot of them make strong ties, especially at Cardiff. It was actually, I think it was Dan Purse that sort of introduced that sort of try to get all the families together, try to do things together, and it's continued on if anything else. And by the looks of it, it seems it's like that now still as well.
Take my teeth out. Ninian 1889 asks, who was your idol growing up?
Derek Cantona was my idol sort of growing up. Just, I don't know what it was, just a bit of arrogance and a bit of swagger and a bit of this and that. And I was a bit of a Man U fan when I was younger, as in just Alex Ferguson being a Scot, being down there.
Aberdeen.
Yeah, Aberdeen. So I was a bit of a Man U fan. It was before they were actually, before they started winning every night. I just like the look of their strip. My dad said to me, just pick the Man United strip for some reason. They give you a pick of loads of strips one Christmas. And they became my team for a bit. But yeah, so that was that. Eric Cantona used to have the collar up when I was playing. My schoolboys thought it was Cantona. When I got the confirmation, you got to pick a saint. And
Okay.
so you pick a name of a saint, and I looked through the book. I was desperate to find Saint Eric, and there was a Saint Eric. So they was doing confirmation names.
Excellent.
I think that's
So
the priest even was like, Saint Eric. Is he sure? Is there a Saint Eric? There is a Saint Eric.
Did you have your collar up in
Yeah, his collar up as he got confirmed. Saint Eric.
There was a big Scottish contingent at Cardiff that won there for a while. There was like Gavin Ray, you, Neil Alexander, and obviously David Marshall after that as well. There was more than that, wasn't there?
Yes, it was Chrissy Burke, Steve McLean.
That's it, yeah. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, Paul Quinn. Ross McCormack.
Ross McCormack. What a player on his day.
Yeah.
What a player. Okay, go on. Sorry.
No, sorry, I was just saying it was actually quite a few. Yeah, there was quite a few over the years.
Okay, last couple of questions now, mate. I really appreciate your time. And I know like when everyone hears this and listens to it, they'll enjoy it as well. So Peaches asks, what's your opinion on head impacts in terms of there being talk of kids being banned from headering the football?
Well, that should be a study, to be fair. I think I've been knocked out about 15 times.
That is not good. Are you going to donate your brain for CTE?
I think it should be fair. What's left of it.
Well, no, being deadly serious with that, like with CTE and stuff, you can't. It can't be diagnosed until after death, can it? So, I mean, if you've been knocked out 15 times, I'd say you would be a good study.
Yeah, I got knocked out twice at Aberdeen, and I got a bad one at Cardiff where I was just all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. He was staggering.
Yeah, it wasn't great. No, I've had a really lot of head knocks over the years, but it's hard because I've seen guys who are about 17, 18 who don't actually know how to header the ball because they've not been working on it. So they end up heading the ball with this part of their head, which is the soft part. So
it also puts you at more risk.
That's what I mean. If you've got actually good technique, it shouldn't actually hurt. If you're hitting it with this part of your head, then it's the thick part of your brain, the thick part of your skull. So,
and the thing is, if you're going down like that, and a defender comes in to header it at the same time, you're exposing the soft part of your head to the defender's arms and heads and stuff. Which,
listen, safety is obviously paramount these days, and like with anything else, you don't really want to take chances. So I can get that. I can get why they've done it. And you just got to support it. So again, maybe should look at even introducing softer balls or something like that, just to work on the technique. Could do stuff like that, but there's no thought of things like that. You can maybe just even get a sponge ball in where they're working on technique.
Just get the techniques spot on.
Yeah, so if you get your technique good, then you shouldn't hurt yourself. You know, so if your technique's bad, it's generally what happens is you hurt yourself.
JD asks, who is your favourite porn or adult film star? There you go.
Porn star.
Favorite porn star. And he says, if you say you don't have one, you're lying. That's a bit harsh, but
I don't have a favourite. Don't take tabs or anything like that or anything over the years where I thought, you know what, you're my favourite.
She's the one.
I'm going to find her someday. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to look up her name and I'm going to find her. She's a keeper.
Yeah. I don't know. What a strange question. People ask some weird shit. Paedophile hunter groups, good or a bad thing?
Paedophile hunting.
Hunter groups, like the ones which go like on YouTube and that, and they.
I get these things, and listen, it's the ones that if they get it wrong, then,
Someone's life's over.
Yeah, there's people who've committed suicide because they've been wrongly accused, or so just leave it to the authorities. I get why. I get this as well, because I'm a parent as well. If something happened to my kids, I'd be the first to pick up a bat and go around the house. But it's hard because you've just got to watch, and if it's not true, or they've got their wires crossed, then it affects somebody else's life. So you've got to watch it. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, especially like with the families and stuff of that person. It's like they're left to pick up the pieces and that. And finally, last two questions. Do you know who Count Dankula is?
Count Dracula.
Dankula. He's the Scottish fella who, to annoy his girlfriend, he taught his pug to respond every time he said something. I think he said something in German. The dog would lift his paw as if he was doing like I forgot what it's called, like what the Nazis used to do, like the salute. And he basically trained his dog to lift his paw, but he only trained him to do it when he said some German phrase, and then he obviously filmed it, because that's what people do. They film everything. And he got charged and nearly sent to prison, I believe, for inciting racial hatred or something like that. And he basically did it as a joke to annoy his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is taking kind of like political correctness too far?
Yeah, for that, by the sounds of it, just a joke. But I don't know why people need to film things all the time.
Why do you film everything, do you?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be done.
They say as they film something.
But just things like
just pointless stuff, isn't it?
It's like people taking videos of them doing a workout and stuff like that. It's just like, I can't even be bothered doing a workout. Why would they want to watch you doing one?
Yeah. Or the other one is taking pictures of food. I want to eat. I just want to eat my food.
The one thing I would take a picture of is I like mistakes. So there was a massive. I bought this steak, I think, in an Argentinian steak restaurant, and genuinely I thought, I'm not going to be able to finish this. So I took a picture before and after. I thought, we'll have a go at this. And it was tough going, but I got there. They didn't eat the grizzle though, which should have really just. I wanted to complete the challenge.
Just take a picture of that though. You can excuse that, can't you? Because it's
but I know what you're saying with that one. It's like my missus like taking pictures of food, as in she makes. Like,
yeah, well, that's different when you make something, like whether if you make a cake or you cook something, like that's slightly different. It's when people go into a cafe or a restaurant or whatever, they order food, and then before they eat it, they've got to take photos of each of the dishes. And I can't do it.
I know.
Just get on and eat it, for God's sake.
I've probably got pictures somewhere of me taking pictures of food.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Is Boris Johnson doing a good job considering what he's had to deal with?
He's just doing what he's been told. I just think he's just on a delay. He's on about 3-day delay. It's just, I think his Wi-Fi's just not connected to the router properly. He just seems to be doing things just as reactive as opposed to proactive.
Indeed, and that's the thing, isn't it?
It should have been really. Everybody's saying, "Oh, why are we not shutting down? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not?" And then the next day, we're doing it. Eventually, why do we not just jump the gun? Why do we not just do something a little bit quicker?
Yeah, let's do it before it spreads everywhere and kills everyone.
I think it's the worst is probably yet to come for her because it's.
Yeah, they reckon it's going to peak in May, I think, or around Easter time. But it's what it is.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you very much for joining me. What's the address of your website?
It is. I don't actually know.
I think I've got it somewhere. Is it kevmac.bigcartel.com?
Yes, that's the one.
I'll put links in the descriptions to Super Kev's website. What's your Twitter?
You need anything? Give it a go. Give it a go, most
Indeed.
things.
And you can find Kev on Twitter at Kev McNaughton. And you can find me on Twitter at acecast_nation. Same on Instagram, facebook.com/acecastnation. Every Monday, 7:30, live on Facebook and YouTube, the Andy Campbell Championship Show. Join us for an interactive football experience. All our shows, youtube.com/acepodcastnation. Please subscribe, click the bell so you get notified every time we get to upload or go live. And again, I thank Kevin for his time, and thank you guys for listening, watching, and we'll see you for the next episode. Cheers, Kev.
Cheers, mate.